Hello there, welcome to another Moaning Show. Do excuse me in this episode as I'm trying to get over a stinker of a cold and it's still not shifting despite what I do, so do bear with me during this episode, which is number 71, filmed in magnificent Monavision, and in this one I want to talk to you about children's television. Now, I will freely admit I'm basically still a kid. I don't think that will ever leave me, so to speak. But what I will say is that children's TV, in my personal opinion, has taken a turn for the worst. Question 1 this week is, what have you got against children's TV? I shall explain in due course throughout the video, but children's TV these days is very much like everything else. It's had to take a back step. It's had to consider the so-called viewership about how not to offend, how not to get on people's nerves, how to avoid complaints. And that's what's wrong with the world in general. But with children's TV, it's all sickly. It's all, what do you want to do? Or do you think we should go and help Laura? Or some shit like that, you know? It's gotten that bad. There's no threat in children's television anymore. There's no danger. There's no characters almost falling off a cliff. Fucking Wile E. Coyote, chasing after the Roadrunner, got mortally injured every single episode about 5 or 6 times, and you laughed your fucking bollocks off watching him. You know, Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam, Bugs always came out on top. But the funny thing was how Bugs would get out of a certain situation, and Sam would like almost get killed by a fucking 1-ton weight. That shit was funny. And, you know, children's TV today, by retrospect, is shite. Your kids are growing up, you know, watching shit like Peter Rabbit. And the worst thing that happens there, he might lose a carrot or get chased by a farmer. That's it. Or a leaf that a character is chasing in a fucking television programme falls on a fucking small pond or something like that. It's complete bollocks. Question 2 this week is, what made the TV that I watched when I was growing up all that good? I'll show you.
And the masters of the universe.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said,
by the power of Grayskull,
And that was just the intros. You had their Ninja Turtles, you had Ghostbusters, you had Thundercats, you had He-Man, and, you know, examples of great intros there. Now, I understand that might get this video taken down, But for those of you that do end up watching it, there's one of the reasons. Another reason as well is that in three of the aforementioned TV programs featured they all featured stories where danger was a permanent thing. And I've got to be honest, Tom and Jerry is one of my favourite ever so-called kids shows. And I say so-called kids shows because these days even Tom and Jerry has been desensitized, so to speak, or made acceptable for this day and age. Tom used to whack Jerry over the head with bloody fly swats, garbage cans, fucking just all sorts of shit, and they used to make Jerry-shaped fucking indents in whatever he hit him with. Jerry gave as good as he got, and he won 90% of the episodes. Occasionally, Tom would win. But these days, I've seen a couple of Tom and Jerry's of the new lot that are getting released these days. Yes, it's fantastic they're still going. You know, they're inwards of fucking 70 years old, the pair of them. They look pretty good for 70 years old. But the worst thing is that the worst thing that would happen to Tom nowadays, he gets chased by Butch or Spike or whatever the fucking dog's name is. That's not Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is slapstick humour. You get a door slung in your face. All right, it's violence. But surely it is up to us as responsible adults to, say, all right, this could hurt somebody and maybe not laugh as much at it. But that's what I'm trying to get at. All of this, the previous 70 Moaning shows have had a disclaimer at the bottom saying it's not suitable for minors. Now, it's not my responsibility what your kids watch or what your younger siblings watch, if you've got a younger sibling. That disclaimer on the bottom of each video says is not suitable for minors, which basically means it's your responsibility whether they watch it or not. Now, question 3 this week. What could be done to make kids' TV better these days? Well, I've just basically answered that, put it in reverse. So, what you have is add some threat to a story. Add a bad guy now and again. Fucking Shredder in Ninja Turtles. As evil as he was, quite frankly, he was a dick. He was thick as shit, but not as thick as his henchmen. Add in stupid henchmen, add in evil that basically never wins, because evil never wins, as you see from, the programs that I mentioned. Add in a premise to the story, or maybe a full-blown objective, like Transformers you saw earlier on. They're trying to reach their home planet of Cybertron. The thing is, because people are so easily fucking offended by absolutely fucking everything, that is the way our kids are growing up wimps, so to speak. So when you see them out hanging out with their friends and stuff, that is when they're allowed to be free for the first time. They're not desensitized to the rules of the world because they're told them in these fucking shows. Yet again, Alvin and the Chipmunks is on Pop TV. I know that because I work in a care home. It's usually on Pop TV. And these shows are fucking terrible. Not to mention the storyline premises. Alvin's a fucking bastard who doesn't care about anyone but himself, really. And the god-awful singing, it's like, and that's the fucking singing. But it's all put in a context where there's barely any danger. Alvin gets in trouble. Story of his fucking life, you know? But that's what I'm trying to get at. There's no danger. There's no evil doer that's going to take over the world or dominate the good guys, you know? They're not fighting for anything amazing. Unless if you'd see fighting at all. And that's what I'm trying to get at. There's no danger. There's no threat. Tom still chases after Jerry, but it's in a much less violent form. Would Roadrunner, the cartoon from Warner Brothers, you know, Merry Melodies and all of that stuff, would that have been as funny if he didn't get hurt all the time? If he didn't fall off the fucking cliff 4 times an episode? No. Bring back the violence. Bring back the danger and the threat. And let us decide what's appropriate to watch and what isn't. We're not fucking stupid. Some of us are. I'm 35 and I'm watching stuff, and I've got stuff on my own computer and on my hard drive and everything that's fucking 50, 60 years old. Because it's better than the shit that's produced these days. You saw my introductions earlier on. That's so much better. Not to mention the mere fact that in 3 of the cartoons are 3 of the hottest redheads you'll ever see. Might have a thing for redheads, I don't know. I mean, I grew up watching April O'Neil in the Turtles. Always had a cleavage showing. Janine Melnitz in Ghostbusters always wore a fucking short skirt in the first couple of series. And Teela, she barely wore a fucking thing in He-Man. Is it any wonder why I like redheads? Anyway, that's about it for this edition of the Moaning Show. I thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Click the little bell in the corner underneath the video if you've not done so far. More subscribers means more people are noticing the channel, which basically means that, you know, there's a potential for improvement. Thank you very much. There's 4 Moaning Shows to go, and I'm going to be doing them in a batch, filming them next week after this one goes out. So, we're on the home stretch for 2019, and you already know what the final video is. See you next time for more.